Hinduism makes a lot of claims about having cosmic knowledge. For example, recently we've been hearing that Hindus knew the cycles of Jupiter being of 12 years, and hence they celebrated Kumbh Mela based on that. How might we tackle that? Does anyone have any
Yeah,
thoughts on that?
I'm actually writing a book now on dual revelation, where I look at the Hindu claims that their book is predicting future science, the claims in the Quran compared with the claims in the Bible. And you see a lot of similarity between Hinduism and Islam, and that they look at the Vedas, they look at the Quran, and they say, look at these amazing predictions. However, none of these are established by foresight. They're all by hindsight. And what I do in my book is actually say, notice that when the Bible predicts future scientific discoveries, people that lived thousands of years before those discoveries were made saw this in the biblical text. They weren't reading it into the text from the fact that it already had been discovered. But that's what you see in both Hinduism and Islam. They look at these texts, and incidentally, I read the Vedas and the Quran before I picked up the Bible. And what disturbed me about both of these sets of books is how vaguely they were written. They're written so vaguely that you can read almost anything into them that you want. So it's not surprising to me that they look at the Quran, for example, and say, hey, it's actually saying the stars come from smoke. The first stars are born out of smoke. And it's like, well, actually, the first stars come from just hydrogen and helium. You need carbon to get smoke. Yes, the stars that form today come from carbon, but not the firstborn stars. So if you actually look at, where they make explicit statements, the Vedas, for example, say that we live in a reincarnating universe where it's reborn every 4.32 billion years. Notice whenever it gets specific, as opposed to using vague language, the predictions do not stand up to the scientific discoveries of today. Even though there are astronomers and physicists today are still trying to promote the Hindu worldview of an oscillating universe. But I love what Roger Penrose said in a debate, where he said, yes, it's mathematically conceivable that we live in an oscillating universe, but it's not physically possible to join the geometry of a contracting universe to the geometry of an expanding universe. And thermodynamics rules out the Hindu view of a reincarnating universe. So yeah, a detailed comparison. And when I share with people that come from a Hindu world perspective, why don't you look at the Quran, the Bible, and the Hindu Vedas side by side and judge them accordingly? Look at all of them, put them all to the test.
Christians are not claiming that everything that every other religious worldview teaches is false. We're just claiming that where their revelation differs from the Bible, it's false if the Bible is true. And Justin has a good illustration of this. Justin, why don't you talk about your key illustration?
I'm sharing this on Frank's radio show this weekend, but I sometimes get asked, having made a case for God sometimes, and I do this in some places like on my TikTok channel, having made a case for a creator, atheists and skeptics sometimes ask me, well, which God? And wouldn't you have to search all of the religions to find out which one is actually the true God? And my point is that no, because when I go to my church, I have a big set of keys when I want to open the front door, and a lot of them look the same on this bunch of keys. So I might try a couple in the door before I find the right one that opens the door. But when I've done that, I don't then exhaustively, put all of the rest of the keys just to see if one of them works as well. I know I found the one that works. And for me, that's the case with Christianity, that once you've found the key, you don't have to search through all of the other religions to see if their God is the true God, because the claims that Christianity makes are unique, and they essentially mean that the other religions cannot be true at the same time. That Jesus Christ was who he said he was, that he lived, died, and rose again. That supports the claim that he represented the God of the Bible, Yahweh. And to that extent, if that's true, if we've got good evidence that Jesus was who he said he was, that he lived, died, and rose again, then we found the key that opens the door. And I don't need to extensively search the scriptures of Hinduism or Islam or Buddhism or any other religion, because actually, if you found the key, you don't need to search through the whole set of the other keys, if that makes sense. So that's just one way I think of helping us to realize that Christianity has this claim at the core of it that actually is exclusive, is unique, and makes sense in and of itself, and means that you don't have to search exhaustively elsewhere.